It's that time again. As you can see by the title, this video is going to be a little bit controversial, or maybe not, because you actually might agree with me. In the past, I've made videos talking about a group of characters or the world in general, but I've never focused on just one character. So hey, why not do that today? And today the character we're going to focus on is Itadori Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen. And no, we're not gonna do a deep dive on the character. I feel like there are enough videos that do that good already. What I'm here to do as an anime and manga connoisseur is just give my opinions on the character and what I think they could have done better. Now that we got that established, we're gonna get into why Itadori Yuji is a terrible shonen protagonist. And yeah, you heard me right, Itadori is a terrible protagonist. And the reason for me even thinking that is because he feels like a side character in his own story. Like, this is literally the first character we see in the series, and we get to see the world of Jujutsu Kaisen from his perspective, but it feels like he works better as a cameraman for the series than the actual character. Because when push comes to shove and they're out in the field fighting for their life, he always seems to come up short. And this can be fine for characters in shows. It makes it interesting, yes, because you're expecting that character to grow over time. But with him, it felt like he never did grow ever, like even a bit, to be honest with you. Because every fight we see him in, he's barely just making it out. Even on top of that, most of his fights are him needing help for maybe 5 or 30 other people. It really depends on the situation. He needed Nanami when it came to fighting Mahito. He did Choso alone, I would give that. But he ended up losing regardless, okay? But look, in Shinjuku, there were like 30 different sorcerers that came to fight Sukuna before he finally got his 1v1. Now, I'm not saying he needs to do every fight alone, obviously not, but he needs to be able to grow to be able to handle these characters pretty much on his own, because with Mahito, I really felt like he couldn't have done it alone. If Toto wasn't there, bro would have been clapped from the beginning. Literally, no pun intended. I really feel like that was one character that Yuji should have had alone because of the history he had with Mahito and what he did to Junpei. I feel like that fight was literally just supposed to be for him. Now, was there a point where they were fighting alone? Yes, that is true, but Toto helped wear this man down a bunch. Okay, yes. So they did have a moment where it was just them, but I felt like Mahito was beyond Yuji at that point, like well far beyond. So I don't even know how Yuji was able to clutch that up last minute and win. That was such a power creep thing to me, because they were jumping him before and was able to hold their own and be fine. But now that Mahito goes through this whole transformation and figuring out his true form, how the fuck do you lose in a one-on-one against the nigga you already handling in a 1v2? It makes no sense to me. Now, does that fight make him a bad character? No. I just feel like that was a bad time for him to fight Mahito, because I feel like he could have had this really locked in training arc after Shibuya, bro, because he was mentally fucked up, bro. Literally mentally fucked up. I feel like they should have went on a training arc with Yuji and he would have locked in 100% more. And guess what? He could have came back, fought Mahito, and had this big, like, it would have been a bigger payoff than what we got, okay? So all in all, what I'm saying is this constant reliance on other people doesn't make him grow as a character. It really doesn't. It just makes him needs to be dependent on other people to handle and weaken the opponent before he gets to do anything. That's not how you grow. If I had the smartest person in the world take 75% of the test for me and I did the other 25, I would pass regardless, because I would get over 75% of the questions right because I had someone else take it for me that was the smartest person in the world. Just to get this right, his constant reliance on other people is what forces him not to grow as much as he should be, is what makes him a bad character. And if you don't call that bad and you call it unique to the shonen genre, because every shonen genre is about growth and following your dreams and journeys, okay, I'll give you that. But on to the next point. Let's see how you feel about this one. Now, you tell me, what was Yuji's main point of being in the story? What was his reason to be there? Oh, you don't know. Well, the main reason why he's even in the Jujutsu world of sorcerers is because he's a vessel of Sukuna. That's what it feels like the whole story, that he just is. He just is a vessel of Sukuna, and the only reason anyone teaches him anything it's because of that reason. So when the point comes in the story when Sukuna is no longer in his body, it feels like Yuji loses his purpose, to be honest with you. He even gets clowned on by the main villain. They laugh at him all the time, till damn near the end. The reason they do so is because of how useless he is and how much he can't do anything to change anything. And they do this all the way to the end of the story until he finally does something. After Yuji loses what made him special in the first place, it's hard to say that he fit in with a cast of characters that were fucking monsters and actually had interesting stories about them and were interesting characters in general. Yuji just felt too normal, and especially without having Sukuna there inside of him and being this cage that is perfect for Sukuna, he was nothing else but a normal person. It's kind of sad that they did him like that, because they could have did so much more with him as a person and character because of the experiences he went through in this world. But they really didn't, to be honest with you. His main thing was, oh, he's the vessel of Sukuna, cool, oh. But nothing else beyond that. Like, look at Naruto. That is a good example of having this motherfucking demon or whatever, soul or spirit trapped inside of you, but not letting that become who you are as a person within the story. It's kind of fucked up, because I feel like they should have made him go harder in training even after losing Sukuna and having him laugh at him and call him useless and he's nothing after he takes Megumi's body. You just seen your friend get taken away and because the spirit went inside of his body. But brother, you were supposed to go hit the training and train to your fucking limit. Instead, in this training scenes that you see in the manga panels, it seems like they're just yapping about what they're doing. They're not actually pushing themselves to the limit and seeing what they can do or making up something different. They don't really do anything like that with Yuji. In the end game of the story, they just slapped him on some gauntlets and gave him blood manipulation, and that was kind of it. It actually always bothered me why he didn't go 10 times harder when there's times where he loses everything. He just ends up getting paired up with someone else and said, hey, you're going to be with this guy now, and y'all going to do a lot of things together. Oh, okay, whatever, sure. He literally has no way of pushing the story forward himself as a main character, as the protagonist. He does not push the story forward at all. It seems like the villains are the ones always pushing the story forward. And on to my final reason why he's a bad protagonist. Yuji doesn't really even have a signature move. This is the thing that all shonen protagonists need. Like, they all have that go-to move that they use in every situation, and they always build upon it, make it stronger, make it better, make it more efficient. However they do it, it is always their go-to move that they use in any situation. Well, you might be thinking, wait, Yuji does. It's called the divergent fist. It's when his spirit energy time lags and yep. Nigga, that is not his go-to move at all. He barely uses it within the show. The reason why he even has the divergent fist is because he's ass at controlling his spirit energy, my boy. That's not really a move. It's just cursed energy in itself. Like, it's just raw cursed energy. It isn't made into something that makes the move what it is. He doesn't use it as often as he should because the move itself is fucking ass and ineffective. It'll catch some people off guard, but to actual main threats, fuck no, it's not doing shit. So I would say the divergent fist is a failed signature technique that Yuji never really uses too often. If anything, you want to call anything Yuji's signature, I would say him hitting a black flash at this point is his signature technique, because every time he needs it, he gets it, my brother. I feel like a lot more people are gonna agree with this point, because he should have used his cursed energy in his show to make a technique that is unique to him. But no, they didn't want to do that. They kept him as bare bones as possible, and in the end, they finally gave him domain expansion, which I don't even know what the fuck actually does. It seems like it does nothing because he had no cursed technique to begin with. So yes, not having your own signature technique makes you a bad shonen character, at least to me. But other than that, I'm gonna stop going on my yap session. Just go ahead, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and if you don't, watch the other videos, see what happens at the end. Just go skip to the end and see what I'm gonna do to you if you don't subscribe. So you better subscribe like right now, because I'm telling you to. If you don't, I will come through this motherfucking screen.